what I've done is I've taken the last 10 years of previous questions and arranged them according to topics. Okay, for Indus Valley, Vedic. I hope you all remember that timeline for ancient India, medieval India, right? According to the timeline, this question. So obviously there are some easy questions which I hope everyone should be able to tell that. Okay, here and there will be some difficult questions which I will make some additions from my side. Fine. So let us start and try to just look at and try to give an answer. If you do not know, keep quiet. Okay, don't tell me a wrong answer. Nanu bhayapadi munde cheptunna. Teliste cheppandi. If you know, please tell. Otherwise, sure. Is it Dholavira? Where is Dholavira? Which state? Gujarat. Dholavira is in Gujarat. Please think and tell me. For a person who has done some basic reading of the standard sources, is this an easy question or no? Straightforward. Can you afford to miss this? If you have missed this, what is the meaning of it? And you have not done your basic reading of the standard sources also. When we were students, my seniors used to tell me 50-50 rule and that when a student looks, a candidate who is looking at the question paper and is looking at a particular question, looking at this question, it's very, a person who has well read all the standard sources, he or she has read it, okay? They can easily understand whether this is an easy, medium or a difficult question. Deentlo asalu question ledandi direct question adi NCERT lonchi pick up chestunna. Do we have this in the handout also? Did I mention this very clearly? So if you are missing this definitely you have done something wrong. There is one more thing for every next time whenever you are preparing for this prelims, keep one thing in mind. So you've seen the question and you know the right answer, right? But what should you do? You should take the wrong answers and try to, elimination okay. Here I'm telling a slightly different point. Add some extra points on Kalibangan, Roper. See, this is a slightly you're not much aware of this, yes or no? This one, to some extent we are aware. Don't you think there is a possibility that there can be a question in the future on these three? I hope you got that, please. So, not just knowing the right answer, but look into the wrong answers and see if you can add some extra points while you're preparing for that, okay? Second question. Slightly difficult, but still, to some extent, we can guess it. Which one of the following is not a Harappan site and Antadu? Chanudaro is a Harappan site. We all know. Anyone can tell me what is it was famous for? Bead making industry, mainly bead making. Kote Digi is also, it is not in India. In fact, Chanudara is also not in India. Both of them are in Pakistan today. Sohagaura and Desalpur. That's where, again, now it's a 50-50. In examination, what should you do? If you know what is Sohagaura, you know that it is in UP. If you do not know, the answer is, it's 50-50. It all depends on how you have performed in the rest of the paper. If you think you are really not done good, so you'll have to go for a guess. Otherwise, simply leave it. Don't you think slightly difficult medium question and Japochana? Yes, please. In fact, because I'm saying it medium because at least two options you are able to eliminate. Fine. If you have an awareness, you can write one line about Sohagaurana. You can add one word for ikkada rada chinna ide. Can't we write on this? Desalpur, just write one. It is in Gujarat actually. It is in Gujarat. And Sohagaura is in UP, Uttar Pradesh. And this is the answer. This is not a Harappan site. It has a significance. Kindly write down what is the significance of Sohagaura. It contains, this place Sohagaura is the oldest copper plate inscription in India. Oldest copper plate inscription in India. No one really knows the exact date of this. We are not able to find out. But still, on some basis, they say that it should be belonging to, most probably, pre-Mauryan or Mauryan age. Most probably it is belonging to pre-Mauryan or Mauryan age. Oldest copper plate inscription. The name itself is called Sohagaura copper plate. Add one more line. What is found in that inscription? Please write down. It describes the establishment of Koshtagara or what are these actually? Treasure granaries, Nana. Okay. Food granaries to meet emergencies like famines. But again, I said, when it was issued and who issued it is not really very clear. Okay, different books are giving different sources, but then they're all very conflicting. And again, your job later on is that you should add some extra points on Desalpur, Kot Diji, Gurtubetkunana. Last 10 years questions, yeah. I have not seen that these kind of questions come, but then we should be prepared from our side, Anedi, that you must not forget. Okay, next one. It's still in Indus Valley only. Kindly see this. Okay, let us see the statement. Which of the following characterizes the people of Indus Valley? I think this everyone should tell. Yeah. Asked in 2013. First statement, they possessed great palaces and temples. It's a silly question, right? They did not have. Can you tell me what were the big temples in Mesopotamia called as? If you remember, ziggurats and Esrasana. Like palaces, obviously we don't have in India. In Egypt, you had pyramids. Yes, but we now have none of them. Next one, they worship both male and female deities, Mother Goddess and Pashupati. We do have that. So statement 1 is wrong. That one, obviously, now this is the old model, but then today they have changed this also. Only two options and third. They employed horse-drawn chariots in warfare. No, definitely. Who brought horse chariots into India? Aryans, we all know. So naturally, answer will be 2 only. Now this is not at all a factual question. Straightforward. You cannot afford to miss these kind of questions. Okay. Next, 2011. Regarding the Indus, again, consider the following statements. It was predominantly a secular civilization and the religious element, though present, did not dominate the scene. Yes, please. If I put the same for Vedic, if I take the same statement for Vedic age, will it apply? No, please. Vedic age, predominantly it was religious dimension was given too much of importance. Next one. During this period, cotton was used for manufacturing textiles in India. No, Mehergarh is the first place in India to start. And if you remember, there is a word Sindon. The Greeks used to call cotton as a Sindon because that was the only place in the entire world who were producing cotton. Okay. So naturally, this is right. The answer is both of them are correct statements in SC's coach. Okay. These are some points on your Indus Valley. Let us see some questions on Vedic age. Okay. Slightly difficult question. This was a very controversial thing, but while I was teaching the class, I would discuss this also. Let us see. They are comparing Aryans, Rigvedic Aryans with Indus Valley people. Okay, let us see each statement. First one, Rigvedic Aryans used the coat of mail. If you do not know what is the coat of mail, kindly write down. Have you seen some people wearing a kind of an armor with some small metal pieces attached to each other? Yes, please. That is called as a coat of mail. If you wish, you can write down. A jacket made of coat of mail. A jacket made of small pieces of metal. Jacket made of small pieces of metal joined to each other. Okay, now look at that. Rigvedic Aryans used the coat of mail and helmet in warfare, whereas the people of Indus Valley did not leave any evidence of using them. To some extent, does that gut feeling say that because in Indus Valley civilization we don't really find too much of warfare? Do we really find many weapons? Most probably you might feel that yes, if you really want to guess, okay, you say that that is actually a right statement. They used to have, however, Rigvedic Aryans, they used to wear chariots, they used to come wear all these things, helmet. If you remember, I made a correction in your handout, whereas helmet and helmet kuda cheppuntanna. This point also I will tell now, okay. A helmet, actually your NCERT writes that helmet was first brought into India by the Shakas and Kushanas and Rastandana. But then when this question came in the exam, I had to change that. And even today, if you find that in NCERT, they will give helmet was introduced by Shakas and Kushanas. But then UPSC has given an answer in 2017 that no, it was Aryans who brought helmet into India. Anyone can tell me the word I used for that? Sironastra. I should have made you right, please. Yes, please. Sironastra and this question. So statement 1 is correct. Next one. Rigvedic Aryans knew gold, silver and copper, whereas Indus people knew only copper and iron. అంత ఆలోచిస్తారు ఏంట్రా? Indus Valley people knew only copper and iron? Indus Valley people were bronze age, iron age? నేను పారిపోతే చెప్తున్నా నేను క్లాస్లోకి వెళ్ళి ఇట్స్ ఇన్సల్ట్ టు మీ యార్ ఇఫ్ యూ సే ఇట్స్ అన్ ఐరన్ ఏజ్. బ్రాంజ్ ఏజేనా? ఇండస్ వ్యాలీ బ్రాంజా? బ్రాంజే కదా నాన్న. విల్ దే హ్యావ్ ఐరన్? డెఫినెట్లీ యూ కెన్ రిమూవ్ దట్ ఆప్షన్. డైరెక్ట్గా అవుట్ నాన్న. అదే అసలు దాన్ని నెక్స్ట్ యూ డోంట్ ఈవెన్ థింక్ అబౌట్ దట్ స్టేట్మెంట్. ఐరన్ అని కనిపించిందని అంటే తీసేస్తావు దాన్ని. సెకండ్ ఇస్ గాన్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ నాన్న. దిస్ వాస్ వార్ ద కాంట్రవర్సీ హడ్ కమ్ అండ్ ఐ హోప్ వైల్ డిస్కసింగ్ దిస్ I clearly told you guys, you know, many books what they write, we did get some remains of horse from a particular place called Surkotada. It is in Gujarat, okay. But then when this question came, even as teachers we were also a bit confused, like what should be the answer. And when I started checking all the different websites, each institute is giving a different answer, okay. But right now, after that, clearing that confusion, please tell me, is it correct or no? Remember, according to the UPSC, Indus Valley people were not even aware of the horse. Forget about domesticating it, they don't even know it, okay. So that place called Surkotada, what you find, all those things, they are not considered to be horses. So the answer will be, this is correct and this is correct, this is wrong, Nana. I told you, see, there is if you don't prepare, all these things will not be of much use for you all. Now this is again such a straight question. Nature of religion of the early Vedic Aryans. Don't frighten me, okay? Image worship. ఏ వర్షిప్ ఇదా? డైరెక్ట్ క్వశ్చనా? అరే అట్లా డౌట్గా చెప్తారేంట్రా? సిఏ కదా పక్కన. ఇది భక్తి ఉందా లేదా? నో భక్తి అట్ ఆల్. In Upanishads, art and culture students, those who have listened to my class, is bhakti there in Upanishads? Upanishads lo element ఉంటుంది, but it is not dominating that scene over there. So clearly it is worship of nature and yagnas, homas and all these things. Next, think about this and try. It's a 2011 question. According to that Vedic culture, actually, so you should not call it civilization, but still they are using that word. They are giving you two terms, dharma and rita. Did I use this in your class? Do you have it in your handout? First, let us see this. Rita was the fundamental moral law governing the functioning of the universe and all it contained. Can anyone tell me who was the god assigned for this maintaining order in the universe? Varuna. You know, where does this word come from? Riti. Cheppinana my class lo, we discussed this. Yes, please. Riti and ante. That's how this word has come. Okay, this one we can say it is correct, right? Now try it. Even if you're not come across this, common sensically should you be able to say yes or no? Look at that. What is dharma? Dharma ante enti? You do your duty. He or she does their duty. Everyone does their duty. There will be dharma. Okay, so as simple as that. Again, seems difficult, but in my opinion it's definitely not difficult. That's all about your Vedic age. Pre-Mauryan. Now this very recent question, 2024 year, okay. Which of these following titles have been given for Gautama after he got enlightened? In fact, is this a real name of this man? What should his real name be? Gautama Siddhartha. Strictly speaking, even this is a title, okay? Buddha. Anyone remembers why do we call him Buddha? His buddhi got opened up. So that's why he's called a Buddha Anesannam. Okay. Now, anyone remembers from which clan that this man comes from? Shakya clan. So this much also we can say, yeah, Shakya Muni Aneyachu. Tathagata. You'll remember the meaning of this word. One who has attained the truth. It's also there in the handout. But then that's where all the difficulty comes from. Nayaputta. Now I do not know from where these people pick up these names. Random. ఏ బుక్లోకి వెళ్ళి తెస్తాడో తెలియదు నాకు కూడా. వాడు తెచ్చి పడేసిండు అక్కడ. ఇప్పుడు చూడు ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే these two we definitely know. So 2 and 3 is there. Yes. Problem is 1, 2 and 3 also is there. Now without knowing Nayaputta, you really cannot do justice. This was a question this year, 2024 law. And I made for those batches, I've made some additions after this recent questions. Nayaputta is the title of whom? Mahavira, Jaina Mahavira, 24th Tirthankara. That person has been given the title Nayaputta. So Shakyamuni, Tathagata and Buddha are the titles of Gautama. Nayaputta will be the title of Mahavira. In fact, what is the real name of Mahavira? Vardhamana. Mahavira is also a title in a way. And anyone remembers what are these people called after immediate after the enlightenment? Na? They were called as Jina. Jina anantar. What is the meaning of Jina? Conqueror. Conqueror and Jina. There is another word which we generally use, 24 people in Jainism. Tirthankaras. Anyone remembers what is the meaning of Tirthankaras? Ford builders. In the river, wherever there is a shallow portion which you can cross across. Cheppine one class la. Okay, next one. Not so easy, but very recent question. There is a place called Dhanya Kataka. It is in which portion? Andhra. It is actually, if you wish, you can write down. It is in Amaravati area lo untundana. But exact location of Dhanya Kataka is write down if you wish. Dharani Kota. It is in Amravati Mandal or something district only. Dharani Kota is the exact place corresponding to Dhanya Kataka. Now look at this. Is it this word present in your handout again? Yes, if you remember that 4 Buddhist councils untai kada na. In second Buddhist council, first time Buddhism got a split into Mahasangikas and Sthaviravadins. Okay, the first, and in fact, it is these people whose ideas will eventually lead to the rise of Mahayana. So Mahasangikas are precursors of Mahayana. Remember that. More of this philosophies of the Mahasangikas, sir will deal with you for art and culture. Okay. Next. This much I think this everyone should say. 2016 question. With respect to religious history of India, consider the following statement. The concept of Bodhisattva is central to Hinayana sect of Buddhism. It is Mahayana sect, if you all remember. Yes, please. Bodhisattva is a person who is on his way to enlightenment, but he delays it. Why? To help other people. Okay, so you can see he is a compassionate one on his way to enlightenment, but delays his achievement of his own salvation to help other beings. Answer 2 and 3 straightforward. Nothing so great about these things. Now this is slightly painful, but still, if anyone knows, direct handout lo undadi. Handout lo in the sense it is directly in NCRT. Okay, from there only I wrote. Okay, answer Maitreya. If you wish, you can write some extra points on these people. ఎందుకంటే యూపీఎస్సీకి ఏం లవ్వో నాకు తెలియదు కానీ టార్చర్ పెడతారు ఈ బుద్ధిజం అడిగి. I'll show you some more questions now. You'll understand what is the pain behind all this. First, you write down about this man, Avalokiteshvara. He's a bodhisattva. Please write down a few points of Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara. Write down. The English meaning of that word Avaloka. Loka anta this world. Yes, please. Please write down the English meaning of it. The Lord, Ishvara means Lord. Loka means this world. The Lord who looks down at the world. I think he's staying somewhere on the top and is looking down at the world. Also called as Padmapani. Also called as Padmapani. It's there, you see. In fact, if you just take this away, Lokeshwara, Padmapani and Avalokiteshwara all are one person only. Same person by different names. Okay, it's also called as Padmapani. Padma ante lotus kadana. Please write down. Also called Padmapani because he holds a lotus flower. He's also called Padmapani because he holds a lotus flower. Next line. Also called Lokeshwara. Also called Lokeshwara. Bracket. Lord of the world. Lord of the world. He is considered as the Bodhisattva of compassion. Bodhisattva of compassion. Compassion ante ikkada karuna or mercy and all these things. Okay. Last line. He is one of the three protective. He is one of the three protective deities around Buddha. He is one of the three protective deities around the Buddha. Who are the two more? You can write 1 or 2 points on each of them. Vajrapani. Vajrapani. He is considered as the manifestation of. Is considered as the manifestation of all the powers of the Buddha. Is considered as the manifestation of all the powers of the Buddha. Last. Manjusri is the third protective deity. Manjusri. He wields and he holds a sword in his hand. He holds a sword in his hand and represents. He holds a sword in his hand and represents the wisdom of Buddha. Represents the wisdom of Buddha. As most of you have listened to my class on Buddhism, you should have understood one thing, that Buddha never himself talked about all these things. Did Buddha ever speak all these things? No. These are all concepts brought in by his followers, unnecessarily complicating his teachings. One line about this man, we all know he is the future Buddha, okay? And where is this future Buddha? It seems there is a heaven, and in that heaven's name is called Tushita heaven, and he is waiting there to come down at some point of time. Just write down one line if you wish. Maitreya, the future Buddha, currently in the Tushita, Tushita, in the Tushita heaven, awaiting incarnation on the earth. Awaiting incarnation on the earth. If Buddha will ever come to know all these things, no? Yeah, he would have thought, why did I create Buddhism at all? Ante kada. No, obviously, evanduke ivanni. Okay. Next Dana. This I think everyone should say. 2019 question. ప్రతి ఒక్కటి చెప్పాలా? ఇదేమైందిరా? Deny ana? Pakka, sure. Deny all. Sir. Consider the following statements. Deification of the Buddha. Okay, first read this one. Which of the above is or are the features of Mahayana? 2019, not a very far away question. Is this correct? Deification. Okay, please think and tell me, what does Mahayana people consider Buddha as? A teacher, a god? God. Now, deity, the word deity is associated with this god. No? Making Buddha, deification means treating Buddha as a god. So that makes it the statement correct? Yes, please. And a problem sometimes, you should know good amount of English also, okay? Because in the examination, you know the concept, but you do not know the word. Deification, you are missing that even while you have the knowledge also, okay? So deification of the Buddha is correct. Please. Treading the path of Bodhisattvas, correct? Image worship and rituals, correct? All three. I pen straight cheppina kadandi. That's why, see, I believe one thing. I've given literally 6 prelims. 5 prelims I cleared. My problem was with mains. I've always stumbled in mains because you know my handout. You see my style of writing. Bharatam Rastatla and epics. I'll write epics. But in exam, you need a very condensed style of answer writing. Okay. But prelims, my only belief always was that be strong with your basic books. Yes or no? This can you afford to lose here? No, you can't. This one, if you're losing, you're giving away marks for others. ఎందుకంటే డైరెక్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇవి. ఇది మిస్ కావడానికి ఛాన్స్ లేదు. If you lose the question on Nayaputta, if you miss that question on Nayaputta, do you think you're doing any damage for yourself? Not much. Why? Not only you, no one else is answering that question. Instead of going and getting negative marks, it's better you leave it. But now this kind of questions, if you lose, then you're doing a mistake. Nana. Not a direct question, you will not find this question anywhere in the textbook, but as such you can make an intelligent guess. And you see, very rarely does UPSC do this. Exact question repeat in 2014 without changing a single word they have repeated that. I do not know why they did it, but it happened. At least in my journey of 15 years of civils, I never seen a question verbatim repeated the next year or the other time. Which of the following kingdoms were associated with the life of the Buddha? Okay, it's not with Buddhism. It is with life when Buddha was alive. Where is Gandhara? Kandahar, Gandhara. Gandhara art chinna. Greco-Buddhist art and Gandhara untadi. Do you think Buddha went till Gandhara? Ledhu kada, anta scene ledhu kada. You can remove that. Yes, please. Avanti ekkaduni cheptara? Central India. Avanti ante Malwa idea unda? It is somewhere here. But don't you think these two would have been two places where Buddha would have definitely lived and walked and died in these areas? Anyone can tell me Koshala is Western UP or Eastern UP? Eastern UP. Magadha is Southern Bihar. Anyone can tell me the name of Northern Bihar? Videha. Videha, it's there in the handout, you go and see it, okay? So naturally, in the exam, you might be a bit tense to whether to go for this or not, but I said it depends on your overall performance of the other parts of the examination. If you feel that you can take the risk, definitely this and this you can tend to eliminate. These two will definitely be, you cannot remove these things. Magadha, Koshala would have definitely been associated with, if you all remember, Magadha king, Bimbisara. Bimbisara, Ajatashatru were contemporaries of Buddha. Yes, please. And in fact, Ajatashatru is the chairman of the second council. So naturally, Magadha will be associated, Koshala will be associated, only that 1 and 2 are not. So it is same question appeared twice. Now this much also, I forgot to write the year of this, I think it is 2011 or something. Think and tell me, don't tell wrong. Slightly difficult also, if you overthink it is difficult. If you know from whatever we discuss in the class, it's a straightforward answer. C. C aithe gaadu. It's not C definitely. Nirvana. When I stress and tell you in class, nir means a negative prefix, which means something is not there. Cheppana ledha mee class lo? Endana cheppandi. Nirvancha. Vancha means a desire. Nirvancha would have become nirvana, means a state of mind free of desires. Yes or no, please? మీరు పోయి చెక్ చేసుకొని హ్యాండ్ అవుట్ చూసుకోండి, డైరెక్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటుంది, అది డైరెక్ట్ రాస్తుంది అక్కడ. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ సేయింగ్ దట్ నా హ్యాండ్ అవుట్, మై బేస్ ఆఫ్ మై హ్యాండ్ అవుట్ ఈస్ ఆల్వేస్ ఎన్సీఆర్టీ. ఫస్ట్ ఐ టేక్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎన్సీఆర్టీ అండ్ దెన్ ఐ మేక్ అడిషన్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎనీవేర్ ఎల్స్. ఓకే, డైరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ ఎక్స్టింక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫ్లేమ్ ఆఫ్ డిజైర్. నెక్స్ట్, tell me. They are asking you to see which of them are common to both Buddhism and Jainism. Again, in your handout, you have a list. Similarities between Buddhism and Jainism, differences between Buddhism and Jainism. Your handout carries that. Yes or no, please? Question in 2012. Avoidance of extremities of penance and enjoyment. Who says this? Who says this? Who says this? Jainism cheptada. Avoidance of extremes na. Buddhism is madhyam marga kadra. Buddhism middle path ga chinna. So this is being told by Buddha, but not by Jaina. Don't you think Jains go for extremes? Naturally. Will that be a part of the answer then? No, because they're asking what? Which are common to both Buddhism and Jainism. This is only Buddhism, not Jainism. So that cannot be a part of your answer. Okay. Next one. Indifference to the authority of Vedas. If you remember, I told you infallibility of the Vedas. They say, no, we don't accept infallibility. Do they accept infallibility or accept fallibility? Think and tell. I'm trying to confuse you. Do they accept infallibility of Vedas or they accept fallibility of the Vedas, or they reject infallibility. I'll write. Asal, you know what is infallibility? Something which cannot go wrong. Who will tell Vedas can't go wrong here? Brahmins will tell. What will these people say? Vedas can go wrong and ante. Do they accept fallibility of Vedas? Yes, please. They say that yes, Vedas can go wrong. So they accept fallibility. Can I say same thing I put in a different way? They reject infallibility. Reject infallibility of Vedas. Yes, please, they reject. They are saying that, though you are saying Vedas are infallible, no, we say no, which means they are fallible. Simply, it's a twist of words. Please tell me. Denial of efficacy of rituals and ceremonies. Answer straight away, 2 and 3. Malli, 12, easy question, nana, ivanni conceptual. I think a direct question, 23. Lollipops ante veetine. Ivi miss aithe inga nu chala talented person nu. ఎవడైనా గుడ్డోడు కూడా చెప్తాడా లేదు దీన్ని? Yes or no, please? Souls are not only property of animal and plant, but also of rocks, running water, and many other natural objects not looked on as living by other sects. The above statement reflects which direct Jainism achina idi. Yeah, దీనికి ఇంకా క్వశ్చన్ లేదు. What is the opinion of Buddha on Atma? Says doesn't know or no soul? No soul. What does Buddha say on God? I don't know. Agnostic. What does Jainism say on God? Jainism say on God. Atheist. They say there is no God in the form as a creator of the universe. But do Jains worship gods? Yes, who are those? Tirthankaras, Shashan Devis, Dikpalas. I've written you some points in the notes. Okay, sir, Japna, is this a question at all for UPSC? Is it a question? అడిగిండ్రాడు చూడు చూసుకో వాడే అడుగుతాడు. ఈ 2023 ఇట్లాంటి క్వశ్చన్ ఎట్లా అడుగుదైందో వాడికి నాకు దేవునికి వెళ్ళాలి. మళ్ళీ I've given you in the handout, but then it is not that they asked from my handout. I included in the handout after they asked it. Okay, because I remember when I was there in Delhi as a teacher, this time. Okay, I asked my Jain student, do you know what is Sthanakvasi? And I don't know. Now Jain himself doesn't know what is Sthanakvasi. What will you and I know? But why did they ask? I told you in the classroom. It was an article in the newspaper. Sthanakvasi is a sect belonging to Jainism. Gurtupettukovali. Next. Slightly difficult, but still. Which of the following statements is or are applicable to Jaina doctrine? The surest way of annihilating, you know what is annihilating? Completely destroying something. Okay, annihilating karma is to practice penance. Penance is again that extreme way of life. Do Jains do this or no? Do Jains go for an extreme life? Are Digambaras bataleskorra? Brahmacharya antade man ante. Yes or no? They go. So they believe that while doing so, you are removing your karma. Slightly painful, particularly the second one. Second is easy, you'll say. Every object, even the smallest particle, has a soul. Petto. Karma is the bane. And if you might have observed, many a times English also plays a role. Apart from your knowledge, having a good understanding of the words, karma is the bane of the soul and must be ended. Bane and end. Negative or positive? Negative. You might have heard there is a rhyming word, boon and bane antaru. Boon ante something, it's positive. Karma, what keeps these people in cycle? According to Jainism or Hinduism or Buddhism, what keeps you in the cycle? Do you want, according to these three religions, is it good to live in the cycle or break away this cycle and get moksha, nirvana or kaivalya? So what is keeping you inside this then? Your desires, your karmas and all these things. No? Can you take a guess for that also? Yes, please, because it's not really a factual question. Slightly you think and you will actually get to it, okay? Answer is 1, 2, 3, all of these people. If you wish, you can add some extra points on the concept of karma of Jains. They have a slightly different way of seeing karma. Now, is karma any physical object? No, right? It is some kind of an accumulation of the result of your action. According to Hinduism, that is what is karma, right? But here, these people slightly have a different concept. I did not make you write in your handout as such. You can add some extra points for that. The concept of karma in Jainism. Add 1 or 2 points fastly. Fastly, Nana, because we'll have to do entire medieval India also. Please go ahead. Understand and write. Jains believe that karma is a subtle, 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 or bracket, sensually imperceptible, and you can't experience that by your senses, physical senses, but they say it should be there. There is something like that. Karma, according to Jains, karma is a subtle, sensually imperceptible. You can't get it by sense. Okay, bracket close. Matter, subtle or sensually imperceptible matter, pervading the entire universe. Pervading the entire universe in the form of pervading the entire universe in the form of very tiny particles. Very tiny particles. Understand it, right? Koncham fast undana. It is these karmic, K-A-R-M-I-C, matter pervading entire universe in the form of very tiny particles. It is these karmic, K-A-R-M-I-C, karmic particles that get surrounded around the soul. Get surrounded around the soul, preventing its natural manifestation. Preventing its natural manifestation. Removing this karma through penance. Removing this karma through penance and belief in Jain doctrines. Removing this karma through penance and belief in Jain doctrines leads to salvation. Leads to salvation. So now this kind of a concept of karma you don't find in Hinduism or in Buddhism. Does Buddhism believe in karma? Think and tell. Does Buddhism believe in karma and rebirth? It does. But it doesn't believe in soul. Then what is getting that cycle, it seems? Chitta, consciousness. I've discussed all those points. Okay. So remember again, karma, according to Hinduism or Buddhism, it is just the effect of the actions that you have done. But according to these people, it is some kind of a tiny particles that are there throughout the universe, and your soul is attracting them. And the only way you can get rid of these things is by doing your penance and following the basic Jaina doctrines. You get rid of this and your soul becomes completely manifested. That is how they believe. Next one. Not so easy, but still, Jaina philosophy holds that world is created and maintained. Will they have any universal soul? Universal soul undadu. Enduku? It's like a god, it will become like a god. Okay, that cannot happen. Universal faith, truth, no. Then answer is actually universal law. If you remember, Kala Chakra under the Jainism goes on, or everything is going on according to fixed law. There is no beginning, no end. So that is the answer. It is again in 2011. All these questions, I think this much should be from the pre-Mauryan age. Maximum